Learning to set aside my pride is really, really hard. I have autism, and it's not fun to deal with at all, especially when people try to change the way I do things. I very much like having systems for the things I do, and one of those systems, at work at least, is the way I conduct my business. The way I organize how I cook things, the way I organize how I clean things. So, when people disrupt that system, it makes me very, very agitated, right? Today, and honestly, for the last month, people have just been throwing dirty dishes in the sink water without scraping out the food, and that makes me really upset because then I have to take everything out and I have to empty the dish, empty the sink, and put new water because I just it irks me. I hate the way they do it. But today was particularly bad. We had to basically relearn how to do everything because my managers went to this training session and they wanted to do everything by the book. Now, doing things by the book is not always bad, but when you work in fast food, and I'm going to really emphasize the fast part of that, you kind of can't do everything by the book. You have to come up with your own unique ways to be as efficient and as like you no, just as efficient as possible. And I developed a very very simple system of how I conduct my business to be as efficient as possible and to still bring out a quality product. So, when today, out of nowhere, right before our lunch rush, both my managers were hassling me and the other cook about how we were doing things. Basically, they were just sitting on our shoulders, watching us and lecturing us and just making sure we were doing everything by the book, everything by the videos they watched. And lo and behold, the kitchen was backed up for hours because of that. Because not only were they intricate in how they were dissecting how we were cooking and how we were cleaning and how we were using our utensils, but they also had us do small batches like over and over again to really learn how to do it. And I just it's everything, and also the cooking times were a lot longer because just because of how we have this auto cooker, right? And it was making me very upset because I couldn't do the job the way I needed to do the job. They were making me do it in a way that, yes, the company wants us to do, but reality doesn't work the way the company wants it to work? But my point is, I was getting very, very frustrated. And in that frustration, I was really trying to just not express that. I was trying to just be like, all right, whatever, I'll just do what you say, whatever. But I was very irked by it. It was making me very upset. And when the other cook was expressing his concerns to me, it made me realize, okay, we're both upset because of things out of our control, right? Let's just think about this. Why are they coming to us about this? Why are they having us do this right now? And it was because we have a new manager. He's learning by the book. So obviously he's going to want to implement that. And our frustrations about that change in our work dynamic, there wasn't anyone really to blame in that instance. As much as I wanted to get mad at this new guy, and the other guy, the other cook, he was getting really mad at him. I had to realize it's not his fault. He's just doing his job. He's doing his job the way he's told to do his job, and his job is to tell me how to do my job. No matter how much I don't like that, or no matter how much it gets in the way of how I've already been doing things. Because I'll tell you, the way we have been operating works. It works well when we get quality food out. It's just not the way the company wants us to do it. Henceforth, change had to come. But and in that, the way that we had to change on the fly and everything was so I had to use like so many different new things today that I wasn't familiar with and I didn't like using. I just liked using my old utensils and the way I used to cook. It was just a lot of new things that I wasn't very comfortable with that were being forced upon me by something out of my control. And I just took that, I took all my frustrations. I said, you know what? This is no one's fault. There's no one really to get mad at here. I just have to deal with it and swallow my pride. No matter how much I think and really I know that my methods of cooking and my methods of cleaning and my methods of really every like operation that I do is better than is better and more functional than what the company wants. Because I mean, I tell you, we how they want us to cook our grilled chicken. I do the grilled chicken there, and they want us to do on this big flat top grill. I do about 20 to 24 pieces, what he said. And let me tell you, that doesn't work. That does not work because I have to. Our grilled chicken is a very, very high valuable item, right? A lot of people order it, so I have to make more than I have to make around 40 pieces, 40, 45 pieces at a time because the cook time is around 10 to 12 minutes. So cutting my product in half basically, it's not gonna cut it, man. And as much as I aired out my frustration with him, I said, "Hey, I mean, you're not making enough chicken. I mean, what can I do else? You know, it's what the company wants." So I instead took my frustrations and I said, you know what? If this, I'm gonna do exactly what you say. I'm gonna do exactly what you want by the book. Everything is detailed. Everything is standard. And if things aren't coming out by the time that they're expected to come out, given our old expectations of how fast I'm usually able to do my job, if they aren't coming out by that standard, that's not my fault, right? It's I'm doing exactly what you're telling me. I'm doing exactly how it needs to be, how the company wants it to be done. So if I'm not meeting quotas by our old standards, I'm not gonna feel bad about it, you know? I was telling the other guy because the other guy was getting really pissed off. I told him, man, if they want to fuck around, they can find out. You know, if they want to fuck around with the systems that I have and I have in place and I have worked and they've been proven to work, they can find out what happens, you know? Especially with the cleaning because the way I clean the dishes, it's fast, it's effective, and it's clean. I don't everyone they just throw the dishes in the water. They don't scrape them out. They don't get I mean they just you know what I mean? There's no thought. And I was telling my boss this because my boss also did that to me once. I told her, I said, you need to not do that because you make my job harder when you do that. And not only do you make it harder, but you make it a lot less enjoyable. And I enjoy working here sometimes. You know what I mean? So I also had to tell the new guy this because he also just threw the dishes in there and I had to empty out the water and get all the vegetables out because they don't scrape anything out. And I was getting really upset. And I told them, I was telling the other guy, like I said, if they want to fuck around and mess with the things I have established and mess with all my systems, they can find out. I'm not going to maliciously like sabotage anyone. I'm just going to do exactly what they say. I'm going to do exactly everything by the book. And if it doesn't work, they can't get mad at me. You know what I mean? I won't allow them to get mad at me. I will if they're like EJ, you're done doing this. I'll go no, no. I'm doing exactly what you said after you messed up what I was already doing. All right. I have already swallowed my pride. I haven't aired out I haven't gotten upset. I've just told you how it is. I've said how what you're doing might not work. And other than that, I'm going to do exactly what I'm told. You know what? Because I'm not, it's not worth arguing over. You know, I'm going to just allow you to do what you need, do what you want. And if it doesn't work, that's on you, you know? And I do today. It was really hard for me today, but I noticed I have to do that a lot in my life. I have to just when I know I'm right, or I know I have something more effective, or I know I have something just better than someone else, and they're very adamant about that, about what they're saying. I just let them have it. You know what? I don't argue. I try not to argue, but I just swallow my pride. I say, you know what? If you want to do it your way, you can do it your way. And in my head, I'm thinking, when it fucks up and doesn't work, that's on you, you know? Because I already have something that works and you want to fuck around with it. But my message for this one really is that sometimes you just have to just take your hands off the wheel, you know? If you're driving the car and the guy in the passenger seat or the guy in the back seat thinks they can drive better than you and they're trying to grab the wheel and you're trying to fight back for it, sometimes you just let them have the wheel. Let the car crash and say, yup, I wonder why it crashed. because you're not in the fucking driver's seat. Thank you.